Those you won't believe it, but it showed that our oh bad. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going here. It showed that our mics were muted. Oh my goodness, on the live stream.
But I was hearing you on Clubhouse.
Yeah, so good for you on Clubhouse. I'm sorry for all of those on the live stream. Holy cow. Trying to juggle too many things, and I took us off before. So I am so sorry about that. Adele, you might have to repeat that story for everybody here. I don't know why I'm having an echo. I haven't done this before. Had that before. Adele, can you mute on Clubhouse?
Yes.
Great.
How's that?
And I
Are we
still
good?
am too.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's good. So we're going to come back to that story. I want to give your intro first, and just so everyone knows who you are here. And Adele Gutman is my wonderful guest today. You're up for a treat. Adele is the host of Hospitality Reputation Marketing Podcast and is a 40-year hospitality veteran. You wouldn't know from looking at her. She must have started when she was like 12. And she's been honored as one of the top 25 most extraordinary minds in sales and marketing by HSTMAI. You'll have to tell us what that means afterwards, Adele.
HSMAI is the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International. And
There we go. Thank you.
I actually started as a teenager, as a student member of my student chapter at the Hilton College for Hotel and Restaurant Management.
There you go. Okay. So I pegged it right. So you were given this phenomenal award to be chosen the top 25 for achieving exceptional results, driving revenue through guest experience and reputation cultivation. As a former vice president of the Library Hotel Collection, Adele led the team year over year, earning the #1 highest guest satisfaction rating of any luxury brand in the world, as reported by Review Pro. Adele's mission is to share her 5-star review system to help hoteliers create a culture, important word there, of caring, collaboration, and continuous improvement, and inspire 5-star reviews. So with that, Adele, for those on the live stream, welcome, and share with us the story that everyone missed because we were muted. I'm sorry about that. Maybe we trim that later.
Well, after you, Jill, were talking about your company and the guest experience, the customer experience, and the employee experience, and that everybody deserves that VIP experience. I was mentioning that I agree wholeheartedly because I am saying it all the time. I tell everybody at all the hotels, treat every guest as though they were a travel writer for the New York Times or Condé Nast or their favorite celebrity. I say treat them like as if J-Lo was coming, if it's Beyonce was coming, Gandhi, whoever it is. And I mentioned I actually poured orange juice at the Library Hotel for Neil Armstrong, the astronaut that was the first man on the moon, who actually stayed in the astronomy room at the Library Hotel. And I would have gone to the moon for him, without a doubt. I would have done anything to try to please him and make him happy. And really, everyone deserves to be treated like a VIP. Everybody's life is challenging. There are hardships, there's hard work, there's disappointment. Sometimes you work so hard that you don't have time to do things that nurture you and that feed your soul. You work hard.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Goodness. Sorry, I apologize. That was my phone.
Siri, quiet, Siri.
Sometimes you hardly have the time to do anything for yourself or your family. But what you want is, if you work hard, why do you do it? To give your friends and the people you love and yourself the opportunity to do beautiful things, to connect. So you're dreaming about this getaway that you're going on. You're dreaming about this great career opportunity that you might have by meeting all these people at a convention, or you're going to just experience something different in life. And that trip and staying in a hotel or resort, it should be a respite from your regular life. For that time, you deserve to feel what it's like to be the star of the show. And everything should be about you. And, as I said, polite professionalism is simply too low a bar for the hospitality industry. We need
Mm.
to connect every human being on a heart to heart level and make them feel that they are cared for, appreciated, and respected at every encounter. And that's why I love what you named that celebrity experience. Everybody deserves it.
Yeah. So for those who've been watching my live show, you obviously already know, but if there's anyone new watching on my live stream on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, because you were muted in the beginning, the name of this live show is called Celebrity Customer Experience. Riffs with me, Jill Raff, because I really believe that every customer, every client, every guest, every person who is doing business with you deserves to have that same experience as a celebrity does. And Adele, you're off of Clubhouse, so you might want to rejoin there in Clubhouse.
Thank you for that.
Sure. So that's where that came from, and what a great segue and an example of a live example that Adele has. And I love that she has trained her people to actually treat everybody as a celebrity in the same way, because look, we all know what it's like, and we should all be treated that way. So gosh, Adele, where to begin? So let's start. You have 40 years to talk to us about and tell us about. And what you started out with, I think, is a great foundation. And I
Yeah.
love, girl, I've got to give you a huge shout out. I love what you said, that just being polite, hospitable, right? That word's big, but being polite and just doing the basics is not enough anymore. Like, so think about it. There's so many opportunities to really go above and beyond. But sadly, today, there's so many experiences that don't even have the basic of politesse and just good manners. But this is a way that businesses can get free marketing from their customers. This is a way they increase their retention by how they show this kindness to their people internally and then, of course, externally. And it's just amazing to me how we've lost even that basic, simple politeness that you talk about. That's not enough anymore. We don't even have that in most cases. And yet here now people need to go above and beyond. Do you feel like for a business owner that's like a real burden, that they're like, oh my God, how are we going to do that? We're just trying to get our people to show up. We're trying to get our people to smile. Like, now I got to get them to be even polite and beyond.
No, it's your life will be so much easier when you create alignment. Everybody wants to feel good about what they're achieving. They like to be a part of something special. They like to feel cared for and appreciated for the accomplishments of their life. So it's actually, you're actually doing your employees a favor. They're going to enjoy their life so much more. You're giving yourself a favor, because instead of handling problems all the time, and often the same problems again and again, and if you want to get off that hamster wheel of constantly searching for new business to replace the business that you lost because your service was mediocre. You did a fine job. That's it. You did a okay job. You accommodated that person. You didn't spit on them. You gave them food when they needed nourishment, and that's it. So you met the expectations. Well, guess what? That person is now up for grabs for anybody who comes
Mhm.
along with a new hotel or a new experience. But life doesn't have to be that way. You can enjoy your job so much more when everybody on your team, from housekeepers to bellmen, from the front desk clerks, and everybody are all pointed in the same direction. And I'm going to tell you a real life case study, if you want to call it that, but of what happened to us. That the library hotel collection, I was maybe 2001, 2002. I'm looking at online to see what people are saying about our thing. Do they have old pictures? Are they giving inaccurate information, etc.? And I start to notice these review sites coming up, including TripAdvisor, which was born the same year that the library hotel was born. And then suddenly, I'm looking at the top hotels on the list and saying, what are they doing that we're not doing? Why aren't I on the top? I want to be on the top. And then one day, one of our hotels was number 3 on TripAdvisor. I ran over to that hotel. I said to Nalini Sirju, the GM there, congratulations, you're doing an amazing job. What do you think? What do you think it is? And she says, Adele, whatever it is, I highly recommend you've got to be on the top of the TripAdvisor, because if you are, and when we are, our phones are ringing off the hook and all our reservations get snapped up like this. And I don't have to drop my rates because I have 15 rooms to sell by the end of the day. They're just taking it because they feel confident that if we're on the top of the list, it must be a great experience. And we're going to make sure it is a great experience. And I went, wow, that Oprah aha moment, eureka. I said, let's get our front office managers, our reservations managers, our directors of sales, and their general managers of all the hotels we have in New York together in one room. And let's talk about this as being a goal and aspiration for us as a team. And when I shared, I have this crazy idea. We don't want to spend a lot of money on advertising, but we believe that if everybody leaves our hotel happy, they're going to tell their friends and their neighbors and their business associates. And hopefully they'll feel so inspired that they'll share it with the world online.
Well, they
This
will, because it's the law. It's a universal law. It's the universal law of reciprocity. And it's just a fact that it's human nature. When someone does good by you, you naturally want to give back, and you want to do back for them. You want to give back to them. You want to repay and reciprocate in that kindness. And so you've touched on so many things. I just want to kind of highlight a couple points here. One, reviews. One of the things that I say is that your customers are your free marketing sales force. They truly are. And what you've just exemplified in your story really shows that with the hotels, the fact that they were getting these great reviews, it just fed into itself, because of course, street cred is going to be much more powerful. You can advertise till the day is long, but people are like, okay, so you're a big corporation and you put money, or even if you're an independent store or you're an entrepreneur or a one-man show business, it doesn't matter. If you paid for it, they're not going to believe it because you're paying for it. You're tooting your own horn. But when someone else then comes in and says, this was my experience and it was a great experience, and I recommend you do business with them too. Now you're talking. And that's how you've, just by giving your guest and your client that experience that you should normally be delivering, you have now created an entire marketing sales force just through that person. And one more thing I want to comment on what you said about the reviews. And if you've just delivered the bare bones basic, the expectations, well, yes, you've delivered the expectations, but it's not going to bring someone back. And it's something that I teach. I have a course and coaching that I do, and it's an online course, a hybrid course. And in some of my coaching, we just recently talked about this, where when you look at your reviews, which you should do, and let me just bring that up because a lot of people do. I don't want to assume that people are doing it. So many just ignore their reviews. Those are huge opportunities to be able to touch and connect back with your customer after they have left your premises, after they've put the phone down. Usually, once they walk out, that's it. It's really hard to try to get them to connect with you and engage again. You're having to reach out with text and email, but now you almost become like a spammer. You're chasing them. But if they've reviewed and you go and comment and engage with them, oh my gosh, number one, it's natural. You don't have to go anywhere for it and chase them. Not only are they not going to feel chased, they're going to feel appreciated because you took the time to acknowledge that they took the time to actually give your business a review. And even if it's a bad review, great. Bad reviews give you an opportunity to regain that customer and show everyone else who's going to see that review that you care enough about your people and that you're willing to say, look, we messed up. Let us know what happened. Give me a call offline and let's talk about it. Let's figure out how we can make it right by you because we care about you and we care about every single guest, client, customer that we have. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. How do you think people looking at that are going to see a new customer? How are they going to look at that? And are they going to say, oh, this was a really bad review. I'm out. I'm checking out the next one. Or are they going to say, holy cow, look how they care about their people. I'm going to try this out.
And you know what? It can't be like you're just checking the box and saying to the night auditor, please respond to all the reviews. And the GM's not really looking, the director of sales and marketing is not really looking, the front office manager is not really looking. And maybe, maybe they don't have the authority to actually change anything. But
Mm.
when the manager and the director of sales and marketing are kind of mom and dad or dad and dad or mom and mom, whatever it is, of the
Parent.
hotel, you know, they are the ones that need to be sure that they are hearing what people are saying and then taking that to the team and saying, um, you know how we shared our vision that we want to have the best customer experience that we possibly can, the best guest experience, the best patient experience, whatever it is that you're driving at. We want to make sure everybody feels cared for, appreciated, respected. This is going to be the foundation of every sales, marketing, and revenue um, in initiative that we have. So this is our goal. That's the most important thing. Make sure everybody leaves absolutely happy. So here we hear somebody says, I had a problem because I felt I was promised this, but I got this. Or it looked like the most beautiful, lovely place where I was going to be treated like gold, but actually everybody was kind of blasé and they didn't have time for me and they said they were going to get back to me and they didn't. That's what happens when you don't have alignment. There's what we say about ourselves and what we actually deliver. And so when we brought all the managers together in that
Is
one
when you
room,
don't have alignment. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, when we brought those people together in one room and said, well, let's do this. Can we do this? Is everybody with me? Everybody on that table said yes. And then from that point on, we came. I lost you, Jill. We stayed
Sorry, I
focused
know there was a
on
bit of
that
a
track.
stall happening.
How can we improve every day just a little tiny bit? What can we learn every day about how to make our experience better or how to diminish the friction points? Or if we know that there's something good that people like, how do we give more of it? If we know that this is what really is making people love our property, how can we be merry and really give everybody something to talk about? How can we make sure that we're not being super nice to some people we like, but we're not missing anybody else that may
Mm.
fall through the cracks? We've got to deliver it 100% to every single person every single day. And even when you're sending an email, You have to sparkle some sunshine on that email. You have to put a little Adele or a little Jill in that email so that they feel the human to human connection. When
Yeah.
you're sending a confirmation, they need to feel the human connection. And we were always looking for those ways. And then our hotels, our 4 hotels in New York became #1 hotel, #2 hotel, #3, and #4 in a row on TripAdvisor, and pretty much stayed in the zone of the top 10 for about 13 years. And for a couple of years, one of the hotels was number 16 or something like that, but still like #1, #2, #3, or
Mm,
#2, #3, #4, because they change every day.
yeah.
And
I mean, that's a wonderful accomplishment. I mean, it shows putting those skills. You talked about, how do we do this? And you covered a lot of things. What I see is a lot of things in the process. And you talked about consistency. That's something I come from. I come from the McDonald's industry, the McDonald's family. My parents were owner operators of store number 150 when McDonald's was just beginning their corporation, and never knowing that it would be the McDonald's of today. Like, it was a risk. It was a hamburger joint that offered 15-cent hamburgers, and no one knew if they would even survive. But what has made them the #1 global hamburger franchise is that consistency. I love going in when I travel, no matter where I am, to see what they have, to check their menu, see what's the same, what's different, what's local for the community and the flavor palette, and what it is. But I know that no matter what, I'm going to get those same amazing McDonald's fries. Or if I'm in the mood for a Big Mac and I'm tired of the local food, I know what flavor profile, what experience I'm going to have. And so it's the same consistency that has to happen. And I want to go in a second to talk a little bit before we have a few extra minutes, since we were quiet here, but in the beginning. But how, and you talked about letting people know, your internal people, which is why my process is the inside out framework, because my process is starting from the inside. And it's really based on the foundational 3 E's, which is educate, engage, and entrust. And so that first piece that you talked about was the education, really teaching your people not just the functional skill training that they need to know to perform the mechanics of their job, but more importantly, first, they need to be educated on the company's core values, their mission, their vision, what they stand for, what's their purpose, what are their goals, right? So those are the things that you can't expect anybody to go work for you and represent you until you've made sure they know who you are. And then you've got to get to know them. They need to know that they're important as well. So that's the engagement piece. And we won't go through my whole process now, but that
yeah,
engagement and modeling is important. And then you talked about trust. So you did mention how the front line, whatever it was, that they didn't have the power, they didn't have the authority to do something about that. And that is something that is very much a part of, again, what I try to inspire and teach clients, to create leaders at every level. And once you've gone through the E3 formula and now you're trusting them, that you're able to empower them and trust them to make those decisions, so that they too can make those decisions for your guests directly. They don't have to say, "Oh, sorry," and it makes them kind of look impotent and say, "Well, I have to just go get a manager because I can't
it's
solve your problem. I have to
terrible.
give it to someone else."
It's soul crushing when nobody trusts you. And how is it that you expect the front desk person or the bellman is ever going to achieve being a general manager or even a hotel owner someday? How do
Yeah.
you expect that to happen when you don't include them in the conversation? You train them by including them in the conversation. So
Mhm.
let's say you have a a complaint. You bring in. You don't just sit there and just answer the person directly by yourself in your executive office where you have no customer contact. You get the front office manager and a bellman and somebody else and say, hey, these are the comments we had. What do you think about it? Do you know the details of what happened? How did we approach it? Let's see if we can see a way that we could find a more elegant solution for that. Or what do you suggest we might
Mm.
try? And you know what? Your team, when you start asking them, what do you think we should do? How do you think we could maybe try another time? I don't know whether it will work, but let's always be trying, right? What do you think? Let them say what they think. Let them have skin in the game. As long as the staff doesn't have skin in the game, as long as the front office manager isn't there feeling the pain of the complaint, he or she is not going to feel invested in solving the problem. But when they feel the pain and they don't want to have that kind of a complaint again, everybody gets thinking. And when you invite them into the conversation and invite them to give their opinion, they start to feel stronger. They start to feel appreciated. They start to feel important to the organization. And in doing so, if you keep bringing them in,
Mm.
they will begin to understand how you make decisions, that you make decisions based on your mission. Mission is king. Adele isn't king. The mission is king, right? So it's not what I say that goes. Mission is king.
Yes.
As long as we're all working in the direction of making every guest happy so that they leave happy and tell all their friends and maybe hopefully talk about it on Google and TripAdvisor and everybody else, that's how we work together, and that's how you make strong future leaders. They know how to make decisions. You can't you can't do it on your own. You can't deliver
Yeah.
happiness from the executive office. You can't. The bellman need to know,
Well, and
the dishwasher needs to know that that contribution of making that plate and those forks and knives shiny clean is everything.
right. Yeah, and they will feel disconnected, right, from the C-suite if they're sitting up in an office somewhere and they're not engaging with them, first of all, and they don't get to know them. They need to hear from everyone and from their leaders, but truly creating those leaders by showing them that you're invested in them. And when you are invested in them and giving them the tools by which to succeed, then they are going to be invested in you back. And
Yes.
that's just, again, it's that law of reciprocity that we talked about at the very beginning. And, I just really believe wholeheartedly that we need to empower everyone. We're all human. We all crave acknowledgement and appreciation. It's just a
Yes.
known fact. And so when we catch someone doing something right, instead of the usual catching them doing something wrong and critiquing them or criticizing them, instead, catch them doing something right and praise them for it, acknowledge them for it. And you will see this sense of pride in them because are being acknowledged and they're being recognized for these amazing things that they're doing.
And if they feel that they're part of a team that they're contributing to, then they are intrinsically motivated. If you share your vision of our goals in the big world, that we are kind of healing the world in a way, giving people a space where they can relax, where they can connect with
Mhm.
people they love, where they can refresh themselves with new experiences. We have a big mission in the hospitality industry, and you'll say, oh, I mean, somebody said to me, well, everybody has the same mission. Yeah, but nobody shares it with their team and
Yeah.
makes them feel it. Because if
So
they
it's
did,
pointless.
you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to motivate people with money. You don't have to incentivize people with
Mhm.
tricks to get more reviews. If you help them feel the inspiration and the joy of hospitality, and then you'll see them move heaven and earth to make a guest happy because it pleases them to do so.
Well, and it gives them pride, right? They have a pride of ownership. They feel like this is my company as well. I'm invested in this. When I do something for a guest, then I feel really good.
Yeah.
We feel really good when we give to someone else. Yes, it's great to receive, but that feeling of giving, and if anyone here, I'm sure probably most have done any sort of volunteer work, when you have have given of yourself, just serving from heart, then there's this great feeling. And so if we can let our employees experience that personally so they know what it's like, they can more easily, in turn, deliver that same sense of serving from heart to your end customers.
Yeah,
And then, right, then everyone's going to have this great feeling, and there's this connection, and at the heart of it, that's why I do what I do. I really
me too.
am driven by the idea of more humans, more people just truly being connected to one another from a soul place. And sometimes we don't even know why we feel this connection to someone, but it's maybe a one experience that's happened that you've been able to do something for them or they for you. And it will just make you feel so good. You walk out, you feel this lighter pep in your step. You don't know what it is. You've got a smile on your face and you're not even aware of it. It's a subconscious thing. There's actually a chemical change in your body when you smile and when you have that good feeling, right? It's actually has health benefits.
Yeah,
So financial benefits and health benefits. And
yes.
I just want to give you one last quick thing to say here. We're going to wrap up and the live stream, but we're going now back to Clubhouse, where we're going to open the room and invite everyone on the stage to come to the stage and talk and join in this really important conversation. Because at the end of the day, it is about that alignment. And it is when you have that alignment that truly your revenue and the loyalty to your brand will go through the roof. And that's just a fact.
Mhm.
That is what will happen when you connect human to human. So, Adele, any final
Absolutely.
words for our live stream?
Oh, well, please link in with me. Visit my website, adelegutman.com. And if any person in hospitality wants to chat with me, I'm always happy to chat and see if I can be helpful in any way possible. We had the #1 hotel in the world on TripAdvisor for 2017, by the way, as well. The Aria Hotel in Budapest, and the Aria Hotel in Prague also was the
Wow.
#1 luxury hotel in the world in I think 2010. So it works. It works in hotel after hotel. This philosophy, it will make your life so much more enjoyable and profitable, and it'll make your team feel great and be promotable so that they can change their lives for the better. You're not asking too much of your team. You're doing them a great service when you help them reach their full potential as a hospitality leader.
Right. 100%. Oh my gosh. So great. So if you're watching the live stream, we're going to close off here. There'll be a short outro, and we invite you, if you are on Clubhouse, to join us in the room that's entitled Creating Alignment to Boost Revenue and Loyalty. And it happens to be today under the Hospitality and More Club. Um, and we'll talk more about that when we go over to Clubhouse now. So Adele, thank you for joining. And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Yeah.
Hang on here for me. So thank you, everyone. And next week, we'll be back at the same time, 12 o'clock on the live show on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you for joining. And we will see you sooner than that. But if you've been watching the replay, we really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave comments, tag Adele and myself for any sort of feedback and conversation. We look forward to it. Thanks so much.